It's Ronnie again, guys. SciFi Monkeys, and I'm sitting here with no one other than the beautiful Naomi Grossman. Grossman? Is that correct? Okay, I just want to make sure. So, how's it going? You enjoying the con?
Oh yeah, it's super fun.
Right on,
Yeah.
You tangled off last night with the rest of us. Man, I wanted to bring you because I want to talk about the ones. Is that
okay. That's funny. No one ever wants to talk about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured something new you got coming out. Might as well. Everyone wants to talk about American Horror Story,
True.
right?
Yeah. And of course, that's the one thing I can't talk about at all. I mean, I can talk about past experience, but as far as upcoming seasons.
Oh, you are in the next.
I can't talk about it. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's a good hint. She can't talk about it then.
The ones is I don't know.
You don't know?
My grandma taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. What does that mean? No, I just my part's not huge,
No? Okay.
and I've seen it. I'm okay with not having a huge part in this movie. That's mean. It's okay. It's not my finest work. It's no one's finest work.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right. What about
I did that actually. It's been a long process, and that was a time in my life when I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do your movie, and I think I'm a little more selective now.
Okay.
So.
Can you tell us anything about this?
Nothing I'm ashamed of doing.
Okay.
And actually, I'm very close with the producers, so I think they probably say the same thing.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you about the chair. Your name's on that for the
It is.
Kickstarter.
That's also something that I'll tell you. There's a couple of us here that are
Zach
signed on.
and Eric Roberts.
Right. But even we were talking about it. We're like, is this thing happening? Because it all depends on financing. So I hope so. It's a really good script. It's based on a graphic novel.
Yes.
It's also great. And I have a nice juicy part. I'm the female lead. I'm the mom, which is really like a flashback. But yeah, so I'm hoping it happens. I mean, I don't mean to be so like doom and gloom, but you just never know.
But this is Crypticon. I mean, you're supposed to be.
It is doom and gloom. No, but until you get your money and sign your papers, yeah.
Let's get that. What's that?
Ooh.
Got it. Maybe not. So what else are you working on right now? Oh my goodness.
This bug is what I'm working on.
There's a bug.
I do a ton of these cons, which is kind of trippy.
Ta-da.
I'll be in Rhode Island in 2 weeks. I think I was in Dortmund, Germany 2 weeks ago, and before that, it's kind of funny. It's all this Seattle's been really lovely, but it's not that different from Kentucky. It's not actually that different from Germany, and actually not at all different. But but it's,
Cities and streets.
Yeah, cities and streets. So yeah, I've been kind of doing this pretty full time, and gosh, yeah, the chair's coming up, and then like I said, I have some things I can't talk about. Actually, most things I can't talk about. What else can I tell you? I do a lot of yoga.
You did?
Yeah.
So, I have a good question. What has been your favorite part that you've played so far?
Oh, I always said that I would never get a better role than one you write for yourself. I have a couple of one-woman shows that I've done, traveled with around the world. I've done in Edinburgh and London and, you name it. And then all of a sudden Pepper came along. So it's like, maybe it does get better. Only because it was such a kind of gift of a role. This part kind of came out of nowhere. They needed to cast an unknown because they're not gonna, if you pay for Kathy Bates, you don't want to cover her face up. You're paying for that. Right. So they needed someone who was, they didn't mind covering up. And yet, it was an awesome role. And usually you don't bestow that sort of, you don't entrust a role like that on someone who's not an unknown because, it's big.
Well, you pull it
It's a great role, and yeah. So and then of course because it was so complex. I mean, I was like silly, smart, naive, all-knowing. You know, I had all these sort of polarities that were really fun to play with, and I didn't even know that I had them until like halfway through the season. They're like, "Oh, by the way, you speak."
So being Pepper, it made you learn a lot about you too, isn't it?
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
Nice. Right on. What about that prosthetic? Like, you guys filmed for how long on that?
I mean, it was a 3-hour process.
Up at 4 a.m. putting it on.
Yeah, basically. Because, I mean, you gotta, do the math. Like, if you start at, let's say, 8 a.m., which is a normal time to start work, I'd have to be there. And even then, that'd be like 8 a.m. for rehearsal to shoot at 9. So I got to work back, 4 a.m. Be done at 7 in costume for rehearsal at 8. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then wrap at 2 in the morning the next day.
Then we back up at 4 to put it all on again.
Yes. True.
Dude, have a lot of people asked you, because I've actually had some friends, I was showing before we were coming here. I was like, yes, I'm totally going to try to talk to Naomi. I love her. They're like, who is she? And I'm like, Pepper from American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's not her. Does anyone ever tell me, like, oh, I thought that's what you actually looked like?
Oh, yeah.
All
A lot
the
of
time?
people. That's the greatest compliment ever.
Because it was one of the best makeups on television.
Yeah.
It was
No question.
very, very well done.
Yeah, I wanted them to win the Emmy for it. They didn't, but...
Maybe next time?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, the makeup from Walking Dead and American Horror Story, they're, constantly competing. Because Walking Dead has, like, 500 zombies to do a day. And American Horror Story has, like, a few, like, really crazy, My hat's off. I'm not saying I couldn't do any of it. I could barely do this in the morning. It's when you have to do something that's seamless like that, that's clean, where you can't tell, like, where the prosthetics end and the face starts. That's intense. They did a good job.
Yeah, they did. It was really good.
I mean, even when they were taking it off, they'd be like digging into my face, like, where is it? I'm like, you put it on, find it.
So let's see. You've got the chair, possibly. Hopefully, that's on Kickstarter. Everyone.
Yeah,
it's a really
I don't
good
think
book.
possibly. It's just without a movie finance, it doesn't happen, and that's why and how it is in Hollywood. Like, I'm in a pilot. Whatever, I'll get excited when it gets bought and it's on TV.
When they order the full season.
Yeah. So, I guess maybe I'm just a pessimist that way. Or a realist, I don't know.
Either or.
Yeah.
Well, we will be non-pessimists for you. We will be complete optimists.
Good, yes.
I love the book Chair. So
Oh, really?
It'd be really good to see on the film. I really liked it. We'll talk more about that later. Otherwise, so we've been sitting here with the beautiful Naomi Grossman, who's very secretive about what she's working on right now. But thankfully, thank you for coming and talking to us.
Thank you for having me. It was super fun.
Yes,
yeah.
I want to get you back to your fans. I know it's just the last day they're on.
They won't wait.